Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I hope you're all fine. Today I'm sharing another video lecture with you, and the topic of this lecture is importance and salient features of effective speaking skills. So first of all, I will tell you the importance of speaking skills. As you all know that speaking holds great importance in the communication field. Some people get what they want. There are people who become the center of attraction wherever they go. There are also people who collect a mammoth gatherings of people to listen to them. If we think a little about these things, we soon come to know that all the people succeed due to their majestic style of speaking. They succeed because they sweep away the audience by their style of addressing. They speak from their heart, coupled with great expression on their face. They impress one and all with their presentation of ideas and thoughts with the sincerity of purpose. So we can say that there is a lot of importance of speaking. Effective speaking has following importance in the public and professional life. By means of clean and effective speech, we deliver our message to the audience clearly. A clear message is the core of effective, prompt, and useful feedback. In public life, speakers are always held in great esteem. They enjoy the confidence of the people. The key to success of many a political leader, businessman, salesman, or religious leader lies in his capability of making effective speeches. If you are connected with some business organization, you can promote the business of that firm by your art of making good and effective conversation. There are occasions when businessmen, industrialists, and salesmen have to address seminars to explain the leading points of their business. By means of effective speaking, they can explain their ideas about their business in a convincing manner. So, by means of effective speaking, a businessman gives a clear and prompt feedback to the message he receives. In this way, he promotes the goodwill of that business organization. The art of good and effective speaking helps a man to overcome the problems and difficulties that the workers face in a firm. A good speaker can resolve easily the conflicts and differences that exist among the workers of a firm. So we can say that a good speaker convinces his senior officers by his art of effective speaking, and this way he solves the problems of the workers and employees of his firm. A good speaker creates an atmosphere of happy teamwork among the senior staff and the lower one. He highlights the problems and difficulties of both the senior and the lower staff in a convincing manner. He acts as a bridge to resolve their defense. In this way, he creates friendly and congenial atmosphere in his organization. Now, I will tell you some salient features of an effective speech. There are certain salient features of effective speech which make it an art and magic. The salient features are found in every effective and forceful speech. They are detailed as below. The first one is engrossing and captivating. An effective speech is highly engrossing and captivating. It does not tire and bore the listeners. It continues to inspire and motivate the listener. It creates a desire among the listeners to give them more. The second is that speaker must have commanding and friendly voice. In a good and effective speech, the speaker continues to speak in a commanding but friendly voice. His friendly gestures and pleasant rise and fall of voice is sure to sweep the audience to his point of view. The third feature is clear and logical. An effective speech contains clear, logical, and convincing ideas. It does not ridicule others. It does not contain abused criticism on the rivals. It may be lengthy, but it moves around its main theme. The fourth feature is language used is at par with the audience. So the content and the vocabulary used in an effective speech is as par with the audience and interest of the audience. So that vocabulary, that language must be according to the mental level of the audience, and uh, audience must be considered while speaking. The fifth feature is that it contains light-hearted material. The speech is packed with anecdotes, examples, and humorous points. The use of light material brings the listener's heart close together. It produces in them freshness and a new energy to go on listening. So the sixth feature is contains natural material. An effective speech contains natural material. It justifies the saying style is the man. The seventh feature is create friendly atmosphere. An effective speech creates a friendly atmosphere between the speaker and the listener. The listener comes close to the speaker and finds in him his sympathizer and a friend. The last but not the least feature is the reflection of speaker's personality. An effective speech reflects the speaker's unique personality and creativity in expression. The listener is deeply impressed by the dress, the gestures, and movements of the speaker. He considers him his hero and tries to imitate him in a daily course of life. So these were some of the important salient features of an effective speaking. That why effective speaking is important and why good speaking skills should be required for effective communication. There are certain elements of effective speaking. Uh, every person has his own criterion for evaluating effective speaking. However, the popular rule of effective speaking is that the audience must listen with rapt attention to what the speaker is saying. The listener cherishes a desire to listen to the speaker again and again. There are some traits commonly accepted which are vital for speaking. So, the main elements of effective speaking are: the first is perfect clarity of thought and purpose. It is practically impossible for a speaker, however good he may be, to know each and everything on the subject chosen to talk about. So this is not possible for the speaker to be absolutely clear about something. The second important element of effective speaking is a practical course in effective English speaking skills. However, whatever she speaks must clearly reflect his clarity of thought on the subject concerned. The purpose for which the decision has been taken to speak on a particular subject should also be crystal clear to the speaker. Lack of clarity in this regard makes the listener confused and disinterested in listening to the speaker. The third one is useful and interesting content. The content of the talk should be useful and interesting to keep alive the listener's interest throughout the discussion. The listeners should find it both interesting and personally useful to remain attentive to what the speaker says. The fourth one is thorough familiarity with the essential components of the subject. Before speaking on the subject, a speaker is expected to acquaint himself with various dimensions of the subject thoroughly to do full justice to his speech. He should depend on the need, interest, and level of understanding of the listeners. He should adjust the material of the speech according to the time available. The fifth element is self-confidence. Self-confidence is the secret of success in life. A confident person is the one who always thinks positive about what he does or says and never doubts its happy outcome. Speaking English is no exception to this. A speaker with bubbling self-confidence always wins the hearts of his listeners. A critical study of the life of famous speakers and orators of the world reveals that they have one thing in common: self-confidence. They had great self-confidence right from the beginning of their career. They were confident of their ability to speak well in all situations of life. The sixth one is a unique style. What a listener likes most about the speaker is his style of presentation. Some people have earned great popularity only because of their charismatic style. Simplicity, brevity, and uniqueness of style, when fused together, go a long way to enable a speaker to produce an effective speech. The seventh element of an effective speaking is good command of words. It is very essential for the speaker to use right word at the right place. Uh, in order to do this, he must have a good active vocabulary, and the ability to use every word as different parts of speech will further enable him to communicate on the subject concerned effectively. In the absence of appropriate usage of words, a speaker fails to communicate exactly what that particular situation demands. The eighth important element is good pronunciation. A speech talk, especially the one in English delivered with correct pronunciation, right stress, and appropriate intonation, is like a musical treat to its listeners. which they want to listen to with a feeling of giving me more. The ninth important element is good humor, wit, and interesting anecdotes. Since human energy gets depleted with work and time, all good speakers try to replenish it with humor, wit, and interesting anecdotes while speaking. So this thing is very important that whenever a speaker speaks, he should include some good humor, wit, and interesting anecdotes in his speech. And the tenth one is motivating. A good speaker should always be motivating and inspiring to his listeners in order to achieve the objectives of talk. He speaks from his heart, not from his throat. An effective speech always comes out of the heart and not from the mind of the speaker. The 11th important element of speaking is ensuring peace of mind. A disturbed mind can hardly make an effective speech. Like effective music, effective speech is produced only when a speaker has his mind at peace and is focused on the subject. He speaks according to the ability of his listeners. In this way, he comes to them. The 12th element is self enjoyment. It is a universal experience that the audience enjoys only that speech which the speaker himself enjoys. He does not ridicule his rivals. He does not pass judgment on any issue or any person. His speech is logical and quite convincing. So these were important elements of an effective speech. So this thing is very important that you need to keep all these elements in mind whenever you speak. Now in this slide, I will tell you about some of the key qualities of a good speech. The first quality of a good speech is that it should be clear. This is the most important quality of a good speech. All the emotions, facts, arguments, and ideas should be conveyed in a clear manner. There should be no scope for anomalies and confusion. The audience should be able to understand the speech with minimum effort and concentration. The second quality is it should be correctly worded. The speaker should not use unfamiliar sounding words in examples which do not make sense to the audience. The speaker should remember that he is speaking to the audience, so it should be according to the mental level of the audience. The third important quality is that it should be correctly delivered. The right tone and pitch is very important. This has the right impact on the audience. Volume should be optimum, and speaker should be tension free. The fourth quality is that the speech should be audience oriented. It should be moduled on the type of audience who is going to hear it. It should match the wavelength of the audience. There are some points that can be kept in mind. That what is the age group of the audience. If they are children, then there should be more of stories and similar words and situations. It should be in simple language. If they are senior citizens, the speech should be more appealing to their frame of mind. For example, if you cannot mention, for example, you cannot mention childish incidents and relate fairy tales to the older people. Similarly, the audience can be composed of teenage school goers or young executives and so on. Then you have to gear your content to what will interest the audience. Another important question is that what are the religious views of the audience? Are they moderates or extremists? Are they Christians, Hindus, Muslims, or Jeeves? So this thing is very important that you need to know about the religious views of your audience whenever you speak. First of all, try to avoid religious content, but if you're forced or you're compelled or you're bound to say something, then it's very important that you need to be careful about the religious views of the audience. Another important question is that is the audience a general one or specialized one? Is it composed of doctors only or of marketing managers or only, or is it a general collection of people? So this thing is very important that whom you are going to address. If you are addressing to professionals, your way of talking, your vocabulary, that should be different. And if you're talking to common people, so this thing is important that you need to consider their mental level. In that question, which is very important, that you need to know that what is the political focus of the group. If the audience is pro-government and the speaker starts speaking on the shortfalls of the ruling party, surely no one will appreciate it. They may even refuse to allow you to speak. So this is also very important that you should know about the political focus of the group to whom you are delivering or giving presentation or to whom you are talking. Another question is which is very important, that is that what is the size of the audience? This is also good to know before preparing for speech. You must know about the size of the audience, that how many people will participate or how many people will listen to your presentation. Then another important question which you need to keep in mind, that is what is the audience interested in. This is very essential to find out for the speaker. If the audience has come for some serious enlightening, there is no use of making a humorous speech. It should be more substantial then. The fifth important quality of a good speech is that it should be of adequate time. The concentration span of the audience should be kept in mind. It should also be suitable to the occasion. If an in-depth speech is called for, you might have to extend time, but care must be taken not to test the patience of the listeners. So this thing is very important, that your speech must be time bound, not too lengthy, not too short, should be on merit and according to the need of the material which you're going to deliver in your presentation. Another important quality of a good speech is that it should be interesting. When you give a speech, you hope that people will listen to it and respect you after it. But this can get awkward sometimes when the given speech is boring and dragging. Humor can be added if the topic allows it. Quotations can also be given. Some people present a few statistics that make people sit up and take notice. Whatever it is, it should not make the audience want to leave the premises. The speaker must end just at the right time. Another important quality is that it should be concrete. Any speech which is being delivered should not be abstract. People should be able to visualize it. For example, if a speaker says AIDS is growing at a very fast rate in Pakistan, it does not convey a much in a concrete way. However, if he says every day in Pakistan 10 people contact AIDS, it becomes easier for people to understand. The eighth quality of ineffective speech is that it should suit the occasion. If a speaker wishes to say something, he should keep it in accordance with the situation and topic on hand. Too much of divergence removes the focus from the main topic and distracts the listener. Another important quality is that it should be delivered with confidence. If the speaker is shaky and hesitant, he will not make an impact on the audience, and it will eventually be a waste of time for everyone. Last but not the least, quality is the speech should be truthful. If a speech is full of lies and untrue statements, people will understand and will stop paying attention to what the speaker says. The speaker should tell the truth.